What is the intention behind your art? Let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting for someone to give you permission to do the very thing God already told you to do? I know for me, I stopped asking for permission to help artists when I kept seeing them frustrated about making a living from their art. They are promised all the looks, performing in front of thousands, millions of streams, millions of followers, and yet they have to work a 9 to 5 to make ends meet. The music industry gatekeeps information. The shift opens the gate. Welcome to the shift. I'm Dre, and I've been in the music business now for over 30 years with 20 years in artist management, music publishing, and sync licensing. I have worked with major and independent artists across genres and particularly in the Christian music space. And today, I'm joined by my lovely co-host and my homie, Rebe.
What's up, Dre? I'm so happy to be here. For those at home, I'm Rebe, and I've been working in and around the music industry with majors and indies as well for 20 plus years across marketing, branding, and partnerships. I have worked and currently collaborate with artists and labels across the Christian hip hop space. And I'm really passionate about helping creatives find the alignment between who they are and how they want to show up in this business. And Dre, the one thing that keeps coming to mind as we kick this show off is, why are we doing this show? Why did we create this? And tell me, who should be tuning in?
The artists we keep meeting, they're talented. They love the Lord. They make good music. They make even better content. However, what we found is their art isn't sustaining them because they lack business knowledge. But don't worry about that. We're here to change all of that. Over the next 12 episodes, Rebe and I are going to give you the complete blueprint from finding your sound to signing a deal, everything we wish someone had told us.
Oh my gosh, how many times have I said that, Dre? I wish somebody would have been there. So, like Dre said, this next 12 is not just theory. It's actually what we've done and do every day over the course of our careers. And I'm just so glad to tell y'all it's available to you for free.
Ooh, free 99.
Exactly, Dre. They wish they got that.
Listen,
okay.
Let's start off this way. Every faith-based artist is simultaneously one, a creative, two, a business owner, and three, a minister. Most only acknowledge the first one. So, Rebe, how about we put this in a framework, sort of like three hats?
I like three hats. Okay, so let's talk through hat number one, the creative. This is the part that you artists and producers love. This is your artistry. This is your sound. This is what you love doing. But unfortunately, this is not the part that pays the bills.
I see the second hat as the business owner. You own intellectual property, you make financial decisions. Actually, you're a brand, whether you built one intentionally or not.
Ooh, I hope that landed. I really hope that landed. You're a brand, whether you intended to or not. Okay, so that leaves hat number three, which is the minister. Your music carries a message, but ministry without structure, unfortunately, is just a big old wad of intention. And where I see these three hats playing out the most, Dre, is when I meet an artist who is super and utterly talented, but lacks complete business sense. They're ready to hit the ground running, but unfortunately, they don't have their ducks in a row. It frustrates me to no end. And it's also the part that I see them most easily walk away and leave a bunch of money on the table.
Listen, I know for me, the hardest hat to put on was definitely hat number two. That's the business owner. When I realized that the art was generating money, I knew that the challenge that any artist would face is not just getting money, but it's actually keeping it.
Okay, so I hope that lands for you guys. One way that we can talk about this is also the permission trap. Most faith-based artists that I've worked with are unconsciously waiting for some type of external validation before they can release music or before they get to this next phase. So whether that's a friend group, a cosign, from a viral artist, from another artist, from the major producer they're working with. Something about trying to get, some type of validation from the number of followers. But the truth is, Dre, nobody is going to come and save or start your career. And labels just don't sign or discover artists anymore that aren't already doing something. So you already got to be cooking. That's what they invest in.
As you're talking about this, I'm actually thinking about the faith-specific version of the permission trap. And that is the line that we hear all the time. I'm waiting on God's timing. And sometimes God's timing is right now, and you're not the one moving. Listen, for me, I really believe that there is a real distinction between genuine, I should say, spiritual patience from fear that's dressed up as faith. Because there's a difference between waiting on God and actually hiding behind waiting on God.
That is so real. I feel like a lot of people think that they prayed about it, so they're good. And they've been told to wait. But prayer also requires action. And God, I feel like, rewards when there's action and when there is initiative. Like, this is a two-way street. He gave you the idea. How are you going to show up?
For those of you watching, those of you listening, if you're sitting there right now and you're waiting to get a call, if you're waiting for a manager to notice you, if you're waiting for someone to say you're ready, I'm going to tell you this. Stop waiting for permission. You are the label.
Whoo, I hope they caught that. I really hope they caught that. Because, what comes to mind for me, Dre, is yes, the artist is the label. And the way that really plays out for me is I've always thought about the 360 deal. And the 360 deal, from my perspective, was never wrong. It's not a bad model. I think it just originated from the wrong part of the industry. I think it's always been beneficial for the 360 deal to have originated and hopefully will continue to originate from the artist. The artist is the label.
That I absolutely agree with that. So listen, here's your homework assignment for this week. I want you to take a piece of paper, right? Write down your artist name at the top of the page. Under it, write 3 columns: creative, business, ministry. Under each column, list what you're currently doing in that area. Now, most artists will have a full creative column and nearly empty business and ministry columns.
And where it's empty, Dre, you're absolutely right. It's not a bad thing to have an empty column. It just means that's the gap of where you're starting. That's the starting point, right? And hopefully what we're sharing with you in this season will help fill up those columns that are missing a little something.
Absolutely. Listen, this takes 10 minutes. Do it tonight.
Absolutely. Tonight. Why wait, right? Okay, so let some of what we shared digest. Go ahead and get started on your homework. We want to thank you for being with us on The Shift. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and check out the High Note experience for the full annotated version.
So next time here on The Shift, you're an artist, you're a business. Now we are going to actually get into what do you actually sound like? Episode 2, Know Your Sound, Own Your Lane.
And if this episode, for any reason, shifted something inside of you, we need you to share it with at least one artist friend and then join us here next Thursday.